I'm here today with Steve Trister, and we're going to be talking about Steve's 5-step process to being an engaging, impactful, and persuasive accountant. Say hello, Steve.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello, Steve. I'm very well, and I can't wait to get started.
Let's do this.
So it's time to talk to Steve Trister about the 5-step process to be more engaging, impactful, and a persuasive accountant on recorded videos and virtually. I have worked with Steve on and off now since I think it was about 2012 when Steve first presented to one of my groups visually, physically even. And I know that had a profound impact on me and the attendees in the room. Steve has also shared his wisdom since the beginning of the pandemic virtually for us, both within the Accountants Mastermind community and within Greenstone's My Accountancy practice. So it's with great pleasure that Steve has come back again today to share with you his knowledge and wisdom. It's brilliant to have you here, Steve. And as always, I'm going to start with a virtual round of applause.
Thank you very much.
Go.
Yeah. Well, good morning. Thank you for showing up live. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching that too. This is the 5-step process to be an engaging, impactful, and persuasive accountant on video and virtually. Because as you and I both know, over the last 18 months, 2 years, a lot of things have gone virtual. I get that things are going a bit more face-to-face, but being able to make an impact on video or virtually is so important. Okay, so just as a heads up, this session is going to be interactive. So I'm going to ask questions. I might ask for one volunteer a little bit later on. And if you do that, you are going to get so much out of it because I'm going to get to coach you live. But yeah, I'm going to ask for you to put some stuff in the chat. Please do that. Get involved, dive in, because then you're going to get much more out of it. So let's get stuck in straight away. The first one is framing yourself and using the space when it comes to video and virtually. So typically you're going to be on a Zoom call or something like that. And when you're doing that and you're using your computer, you don't want to frame like this. Now, obviously you're thinking, hold on a minute, Steve, but you're in the corner right now. Yeah, that's because I'm delivering training and because of the app that I'm using. So it makes it more interesting and engaging. But for a Zoom call, whatever it is, don't put yourself down there. Be aware of the space that you have around you. This is where you want to be. I know it might sound simple, but just have an awareness of how you are framed. So it's going to have the biggest impact for the person you are speaking to. And all of this stuff that I'm going to share with you during this training is always for your audience, your prospect, your client, your customer. This is always for them in the first instance. You are going to get 3rd and 4th layer benefits, but this is always for them. So you can get out of your own way and focus on this for your audience. Now, when you've got a mobile phone, a lot of people, they're not aware, right? They're not aware of where they are on the screen, and they don't even look down the lens. So look down the lens, but just be aware not to have so much height on when you're using your phone. And obviously with landscape, it's the same as the computer. Just be nice and central. Just have a tiny gap above your head. Okay, this is where you want to be. Just fill the screen. You don't want to go too close so your face is covering it, but just like that. That's a perfect example of where you want to be using your phone. And really, from a framing point of view, that's it. I don't want you to get caught in any of the technical stuff. And I know Mark shared with me a lot of the questions that people had. It was all tech stuff. It was all, what do I use? Editing it. Don't worry about that. There is going to be a tech guide that I'm going to send, that we're going to pop in the link in the chat and email after, that you can have access to all of that. So this is all about delivery. And that's the most important thing here, how you deliver your message. Okay, so how do you take nearly all the pressure off of you? Because as human beings, we put so much pressure on ourselves. It's very easy for us to get caught in our head and listen to all the chatter, all of that kind of stuff, and it can really stop us. And I don't want you to let anything that goes on up there stop you from expressing yourself in the best possible way so you can be impactful and persuasive. Every time you speak, you have it within you right now. And even if you don't believe that, that doesn't matter. I know for a fact I've been doing this coaching and training for over 15 years. You have everything you need within you right now. Okay, so let's get started. Let's look at the egoic, unsupportive voice. And as human beings, we all have it. This voice that is pretty negative. For some of you, it will be extreme negative, and others, it will be a little bit negative, but it's negative. It's unsupportive. It says stuff to us that isn't very nice. And a lot of times we actually believe that that is the truth of who we are. We believe that is the truth of what that just said. We believe it. Let me tell you, that is not the truth of who you are. That is something that might have been there for quite a while, depending on your age. And more often than not, that's actually not your belief. It's a belief from marketing. It's a belief from teachers, from parents, from all kinds of other areas that actually isn't you, genuinely. So just be aware of how negative that voice is. And it's really important that you start to bring your awareness into your thoughts. Because this is about speaking on video and virtually. Okay, but let's take steps back here a minute. If your mindset isn't right and you're listening to that voice in your head the whole time and it's negative, there's no way you're going to flick the camera on. There's no way you're going to pick up your phone and hit record if you're not aware of what's going on up there. And this is really important that you start to be aware of that, because the minute you're aware of that, you can go, oh, actually, maybe that's the thing that's holding me back. And it isn't the technical skill or isn't the delivery so much. It's actually my mindset as a starting point. Because as you and I know, everything that goes on up there with regard to our mindset determines all of our behavior in life. We're governed by what goes on up there first. The thoughts come in and then the behavior plays out after that. So this is where I want you to put some stuff in the chat box. If I said to you this, film a video within the next 10 minutes and post it on social media, what does that negative voice say in your head? And I want you to write down all the negative thoughts that pop into your head. So it's film a video within the next 10 minutes and post it on social media. Write down all those negative things that immediately pop into your head and put them in the chat box. Even if they come one-to-one, just pop them in there. Right? What should I post about? Thank you, Michelle. I've got nothing to talk about and it'll be really rubbish. Oh, I'm going to say that's a great one because that's a very typical thing that happens. Absolutely, Donna. I wouldn't look right. Okay, look how unsupportive that is. What else are you thinking? Just pop them in the chat, and there's no right or wrong answer here. Just what does that negative voice say? I'll waffle. Another great one. Who would listen to me? Exactly. Now, this for me is amazing. Looking at the kind of stuff that we would tell ourselves. Nobody. Thank you, Jill. Nobody cares what I have to say. Can't get right content. Yeah. Look at all this. I mean. These are really unsupportive. How do you finish? Okay, how do you finish? Can't get the right comments. Nobody cares. Like, who would listen to me? I waffle. I wouldn't look right. I've got nothing to talk about and it'd be really rubbish. What should I post about? Like, just, I might be attention. What does that mean, Claire? Pop that in again. So if you just look at those that you've put in there, just those alone, look at how unsupportive they are. Oh, I might get attention. You're damn right you would do, but look at that. Look at how unsupportive these things are. Accountants are not good at this. Yogesh, thank you for that. Look, this is all unsupportive. So can you imagine if this stuff is going around in your head constantly? Why the hell would you want to put your video on a virtual call? Why would you want to post a video on social media or send it to your clients when you've got this stuff going on? And it's this stuff that stops us in life from expressing ourselves, from achieving our full potential. Now, let's crack on. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I said post them in the chat. Now, the flip side to that, and this is where the real magic is the we go, the supportive voice. The we go takes you completely out of your head and into the present moment. Because if you're not in here and you're into the present moment, that's when that connection piece happens. That's when it's about all the magic that happens between human to human interaction. That's when rapport is built, the emotional connection happens. Like right now, I'm in my we go 95% of the time when I'm talking to you right now. The other 5%, I'm thinking technically, what's my lighting doing, my camera, but all the other stuff. But 95% of the time, I'm in my we go because it's not about me. This is for you and about you. And I'm also looking down the lens of the camera. Notice that I'm not looking at myself on Zoom, because if I'm looking at myself on Zoom, you're going, where the hell is he looking? No, I'm looking at you. And also notice, I'm not saying all of you, because you're watching this from the comfort of your own home. So I'm talking to you. So you feel like I'm talking to you. So this is the we go from ego to we go, and break that down. We go together. It's that dance. It's not just about you talking at people. It's that dance. Now, in this instance, the only kind of feedback I have from you is the chat box, right? So it's slightly different. But I know if I bring my right energy and I focus on my we go, it's gonna make this experience for me so much easier. And in turn, it will make it much more enjoyable for you. So move from your ego and go to your we go. When you're not focused on and caught in your head, you're focused on that connection piece and in the present moment, and not thinking about what you're having for dinner later on. All right, let's crack on. So the 4-step process to pinpoint those strengths and those weaknesses, because if you don't know what weak areas you have when it comes to your speaking skills, how are you even going to improve that? If you don't know, it's literally impossible. That's why what I'm about to share with you, you probably won't like. And be aware of what I've just said about the unsupportive voice. When I share this process with you, that voice might come up pretty strong. It does for a lot of people. So here's the process. Step 1. I can feel you squirming in your chair already. Step 1 is this. Get your phone. Step 2, film yourself. No, Steve, I am not filming myself. I'm not with you. I'm not in your head, but I can hear what you're saying. I don't want to film myself. Why would I want to watch myself? I hate the sound of my own voice, blah, blah, blah. That is a great example of the unsupportive ego voice. You don't need that. That's not support. It doesn't help. Remember, this is not about you. It's about your audience. Now, step 3, watch it back. So not only do I want you to film yourself, I want you to watch it back. Now, I know some of you have just fallen off your chair. If you've fallen off your chair, it's okay. Take a deep breath. Just get back on it again. I know this isn't comfortable. This isn't comfortable at all. Do I like watching myself back on camera? Not particularly. However, over the years, I've learned to assess myself technically, look at things objectively, and not get so emotionally involved. It's when the emotions come in and the negativity, that's when it just stops us in our tracks. And that's not supportive for the audience, not supportive for us or our potential clients, prospects, and customers. And step 4 is this. All right, so I want you to film yourself and watch it back. And you say, what am I watching? This is why I want to give you a little framework and things to ask and to focus on, because it'll make it easier for you. Okay, assess yourself. And this is the TSR, the Speaking Revolution metric system foundation level. And you will get a link at the end of this training where you can go and download the slides. And there'll also be a link to download the metric system. So don't worry if you can't see it in super detail right now. So there are 7 areas in this. There's energy, filler words, emotional connection, gestures, and 3 different areas of the voice. So voice, speed, tonality, and volume. The cool thing is about the volume side, when it comes to speaking virtually and on video, you can have a mic like this and it makes it very, very easy to be heard. So you don't have to worry too much when it comes to the virtual stuff. Okay, so it's all well and good having this little metric system, but how do you know what to assess? Well, there's some certain questions that I want you to ask. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these because you can have a look at those in your own time as well. But for example, energy, is the speaker using the right energy to sustain their performance and also engage you? And if they are, you want to, out of 10, 10 being amazing, you want to give that a high mark. And the reason I say is the speaker, and you could say is the presenter or is the accountant, even when you're watching yourself, I want you to kind of disassociate a little bit that that's you, because it makes it easier to assess yourself technically and not get all emotionally involved. Because when those emotions get in the way and that unsupportive negative voice comes in, oh my days, that's when we just stops us in our track. We don't want to do it. We just sabotage stuff and nothing happens. Objectively, take the emotion out. And for example, filler words, is the speaker using words that distract you? So, and that's a very common one for people to use lots of filler words. And even as I'm going through, be aware how many filler words I use. Okay. And then for example, gestures, is the speaker using gestures that support their message? And these are things you might never have considered before. So don't get overwhelmed by this. In your own time, you can maybe focus on just one area to work on after filming yourself and watching it back. Because I know that might be a challenge for you, or it might be easy, but just focus on little by little, small incremental changes over a long period of time. That's where the big transformation happens. All right, cool. So let's move on to the secret sauce. I do really, really like this. This is possibly the most powerful thing I'm going to share with you in this entire training. The secret sauce to creating a faster, genuine, and deeper connection with your audience. Emotional connection. You're human. I'm human. Your prospects are. Your customers, your clients are human. And as an accountant, I get it. It's not a natural thing for you to express emotion and kind of be extrovert. I know there are some accountants out there that are like that, or they learn how to be like that. But I know naturally you're analytical, you're in your head, and that's cool. But here's the thing, it's not about you. So I really want you to consider communicating in a way where you can conjure up emotion in another human being, where you can create that emotional connection. It's not something you might have considered before. I promise you this. If you implement what I'm about to share, you will feel more alive sharing any message, no matter what it is, any message than you ever have done before, because you are human. And also, it's very easy for us when we grow up into adults and for life to happen, that we kind of just shrink a little bit. Whereas when we're kids, we're very expressive. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of emotion in there. And then life happens and we kind of go, ugh. And there's shackles and barriers that we put on. Maybe it's time to take the shackles off a little bit. And a lot of the work I do with my clients is actually unlearning a lot of stuff before we can actually work on using the tools to improve again. So what shackles have you put on yourself? What barriers are you putting up right now to actually connect and communicate in a way that is really, really engaging? Okay, cool. There are two types of emotional connection. The internal connection that you have with yourself and your own message. Now, you might be the type of person that finds it difficult to connect emotionally, or you might hold your emotions in and not express them out. I just want you to be aware of kind of which one of those you're at. And just start to bring your awareness into how emotionally connected you are when you speak. And it might be the case that you go back to the metric system and you just focus on energy as a starting point. Energy, the energy that you bring to the table is very important in any interaction, in any conversation. Because if you don't have the right energy, the person you're talking to is going to fall asleep. They're going to feel numb or they're going to want to get out of the room. So just imagine this. If I'd have rocked up to this training and I'd have been like, hello, I'm here to talk about the 5-step process to be an engaging, impactful, persuasive accountant on video and virtually. All right, let's get into it. If I'd have rocked up like that, imagine I'd have said exactly the same content, but had that level of energy. You'd be like, what is Simon doing? Why has he got this guy on? This is a waste of my life. That's why it's really start with the energy and then all of the other stuff comes into play. Right. Then you have the external connection. And this for me is where the real magic is because that's for your audience, the one or the many people that you're talking to. And if you can conjure up emotion in yourself and then express that outwardly, you have a great chance of building that rapport much faster in an authentic way as well, because your audience, the people you're talking to, are human. The chances are they need to receive that message in a way that is really engaging. And if you have no awareness of how you communicate right now, it's time to get aware in this second, this moment, because it's not about you. Get out of your own way. Focus on your ego. Deliver it in a way that is connected emotionally for your audience. Right. I know I said, I just want to see, so we've got 26 participants right now. Okay. I said at the start, and if you weren't here at the start, that I'm going to need a volunteer. The person who volunteers, you're going to get literally live coaching with me right now. This exercise has been a mainstay of my coaching for over 15 years. Simon has experienced it. Mark's experienced it. And if you volunteer right now, you're going to get this coaching, you're going to get so much more out of this training versus if you won't. And you might actually right now be going, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. But you might switch your video on, pop it in the chat and say, look, I'm willing to do this. It's going to be worth your while. I promise you. So look, is there anybody in this chat right now in there that can, that's willing to do this? Oh, okay. Yes. Now, do you know what? Oh, so we've got two people. Now, I'm just wondering if we can actually do this, or if we're in webinar mode.
I'm the ever professional Steve, and I believe we can.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so Michelle, this is amazing. Michelle, if we can get Michelle, you can get your Michelle video on. Jill, thank you for offering that. I appreciate it. But Michelle was first, so we'll go with first come, first coached. Okay. Michelle, please switch your video on. Please unmute yourself. Oh my God, you are so brave. I love this. Now, gents, can you pin me and can you pin Michelle as well for this? And that means that we'll both be on screen, because I'd love people watching the replay to see this as well, if that's possible.
They're both on screen. So it's just you and Michelle at the moment. Okay,
amazing. Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good. Okay. I really appreciate you volunteering for this. And because I just want you to trust me with this. All right. I just want you to trust me. I'm going to explain the exercise. And even when I explain the exercise, don't turn your video off. Just stick with me, because this a negative, unsupportive voice might pop out. I promise you. But there's a reason why I do this with all of my clients. And I've done it in my workshops for over 15 years. So the exercise goes as follows. I'm going to want you to talk about maybe your products, your services, how you help people, the results you get people with as an accountant. And the first round, I just want you I want you to look down the lens of your computer or your camera, and talk to us. And I just want you to do it nice and conversationally. All right, for the first one. And that's just going to be a minute. And then what I want you to do, the next round, you're going to go for a minute again. I want you to increase your level of energy. All right. But I'm not going to tell you too much about that. But just for the first one, let's just go just nice and natural, nice and conversational. All right. Like you just like you normally would do.
Yeah, I do videos actually. But yeah.
Oh, you do?
Improve myself. Yeah, actually I do. I talk a lot about the Let Property campaign, which is HMRC amnesty.
Okay. Oh, well, hold on. How about you talk about some of that then?
Okay,
all right.
Do, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go right in 3, 2, 1.
Right, yes. HMRC has got an amnesty called the Let Property campaign. And this is effectively where 1 in 3 landlords don't declare their rental properties. So we've been helping these landlords all across the UK and across the world to declare these rental properties. So sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 20 years that they haven't declared on their rental properties. And so at Marston's, we've been doing this quite considerably. Now I've lost it.
Good, keep going.
So we help landlords to help declare their rental properties and help them come clean. Sometimes it's landlords who've been prompted by a letter from HMRC, and sometimes it's because they've actually realised during lockdown they should have been doing it for quite a few years, so they decide to come clean. And
okay, pause there. Good, thank you. I love it. Brilliant. Okay, so here's what I want you to do next. This is where it might get a little bit uncomfortable, but you know what it's like? You just stretch what's possible for you, right? I've got you. I'm with you all the way. And if I was in the room, I'd have my arm around you. All right. Okay. So it's all good. So it's just you and me right now. The next time, here's what I want you to do for this next round. So technically, I want you to look down the lens this time. All right.
No, I know I can't. That's why I don't understand. Right.
That's okay.
I'm looking at you then. I'm looking down.
No. When you look down the lens, you're looking at me. When you're looking at your screen, I don't feel like you're looking at me. I know it feels weird for you, but remember, we go. That connection piece.
I'm looking at you now, am I?
Yes. Thank you. Right. Thank you for looking. Thank you for looking at me. I love that, because I feel more connected to you when you do that. I know you don't, but it's not about you. It's about me as your audience then, right? So one, look down the lens as much as you possibly can. Yeah, you're doing brilliant, by the way. Okay, the next time. So this time, from a delivery point of view, I want you to increase the energy that you're sharing by 50%. All right. Nice. So 50%. I want you to increase the emotion, big one. I want you to increase the conviction that you have. So the belief that you have about all of this, I need more welly from you. Does that make sense? Yeah,
Okay.
I need a bit more passion. I need a bit more enthusiasm. I'm not, all right. Remember, this is just a technical exercise. So just give me more of everything, right? 50% more, and look down the lens. You've bloody got this. All right. Same content, same message. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, hi there. I'm Michelle Marsden from Marsden Accountants, and we help landlords with the Let Property campaign. The Let Property campaign is at HMRC Amnesty, where landlords can come clean to HMRC about their rental properties. So these properties, you might have owned it for 2 or 20 years and haven't declared the rental income. So we help you do that. Help you come clean, help you figure out what to claim, and that's what we do on a daily basis. So we are Let Property campaign specialists, and we help landlords declare it.
Good. Yes. All right. In the chat. Let's have some feedback. What difference did you notice on that second one, chat? People watching this right now, between the first one and the second one, what did you notice? Pop it in that chat. While that's coming in, oh, look at this, better, more engaging. She was more enthusiastic. So just those, look, brighter, more engaging. Okay, hold on. More energetic, believable, more engaging, more believable. Holy shit. Like, honestly, much better second time around, and more enthusiasm, but a bit fast. I get that. Yeah. But remember, this is the first time talking to me. Yes, Yogesh. Yes, I love that. So, okay, this is not my feedback. This is your peers' feedback. That's fascinating for me. Like, did you feel a difference between that one and the first one?
Yeah, I still feel a bit mixed up about what I'm talking about.
Okay, so the cool thing is you can always learn the content and you can always get clear on your messaging. But from a delivery point of view, did you notice the difference?
Yeah, I felt more energy in my chest, actually.
Good. Lock that in. That's very important, because what's interesting is it didn't take long for people to put stuff in the chat. More engaging, more believable, more engaging. But this is very quick. That's when you know you're connecting with people better. That's when you know you've got people's attention more. And that's very important in today's world. So that's really interesting, right? So you've taken, in my professional opinion, you've taken a leap there. Like, there's a leap. You definitely didn't go 50%, but remember, my 50% and your 50% will be different. Okay, so now we're going to go one more time. And this time we're going to, now you probably won't ever talk like this. Maybe once in your life, you might go once on your video. I'm just stretching what's possible for you, just like an elastic band. And once you stretch it, you can't go back to where you were before. All right. So you never have to do this ever again, but this time 100% more than what you've just done. Now, you will feel like an idiot, but that doesn't matter. It's not about you. This is just fun and games. While you're here, I just want to stretch what's possible for you, Michelle. Same content, all right? Take the shackles off, give it some welly, all right? Just 100% more than you've just done. It's going to potentially be over the top, but that doesn't matter. This is just an exercise. All right, here we go. 100% more than what you've just done. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, hi there. Are you a landlord? Have you not declared your rental property to HMRC? Well, you're in the right place. You're here with Michelle Marsden and Marsden Accountants, and we help landlords declare their rental properties. So 1 in 3 don't declare their rental properties. So you're not alone. You really are sort of like out there sort of thing. There's about 1 million of you just swilling around in the UK and abroad that haven't declared their rental properties. So we really want to help you. You know, it doesn't matter whether you've had a HMRC letter or whether you want to become unprompted. We can help you do that. So come along to see Marsden's Accountants, and we'll help you with your rental properties. If you've never heard of the Let Property campaign, give it a Google and you'll see my videos on a regular basis coming out every other day.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Right. Listen, you went there. Okay, so someone's sending much better, happier, energized, amazing. Someone said the Martin Lewis of the Let Property camp. Man, goosebumps. Wow, Michelle had a burst of energy. To do this off the cuff is truly amazing. Well done. I agree. Absolutely. This is very courageous. So here's the thing. In that third one, I mean, for me, personal opinion, I still felt that was engaging. Obviously, it's a bit fast, so you can potentially bring it back a bit. But you started saying there's 1 million people, like this guy. All of a sudden, more stuff, like more detail came out, more interesting stuff came out. And then you were really talking to the person as well. Like, so from the second one, that we did, that for me needs to be your new minimum. At the very least, new minimum, hands down. I mean, no going back to where you were before. But then you've got other things that came out in that last one, which were really fascinating from an energy point of view, from an expression point of view. And again, look, man, goosebumps, the Martin Lewis of the Let Property camp. Now, you wouldn't have got those comments if you hadn't have gone to that level of expression. I'm not saying you have to go there all the time, but there is going to be a happy medium that you can find with that. Like really, really fascinating. How did you feel doing that 100% more one?
I felt if I could be natural like that all the time, it would be brilliant, because I do have a lot of information about the Let Property campaign, because I've been inside of like hundreds of landlords who've been in this situation, and I know I do have a passion for it. I know that I can help them, and that's the key, is that just getting that passion across sometimes. But you're also trying to get the passion across, but you're also trying to give some information, and that's where probably I lose it a bit. Well,
here's the thing. Forget the content and the information. You're an expert at that. You know it inside out. The most important thing then is, how do you deliver it in a way that is engaging for the person watching? And you're starting to find that, and you absolutely can hone that over a period of time. Of course you can. But if you've got a commitment or a need to do that, then happy days. That's all within your power to do that. But what I've seen there, I've seen like the emergence of potentially a very charismatic, engaging accountant that could talk about something that maybe some people would consider boring. Like one thing that a lot of accountants do, they say that, oh, this is boring. This is boring for people. No, screw that. Don't ever say that again. The fact that you're passionate about this is great. Now it's about delivering it in a way that's really engaging. And you've unlocked something here today. You really have. And look, you'll be pleased to know that's the end of the exercise. And you've been such a great example and of sharing your courage and doing this. And lock that experience in, and how you felt with the 50%, have that as your new minimum. And then the other level of expression as well, that's appropriate at times too. It really is. So thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to carry on. And look, you're getting well done in the chat, and big claps. I'll give you another clap and a round of applause, because that was fantastic. You're so brave to do that. I really appreciate it. Lovely to meet you.
No, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. So can you please unpin Michelle and put me back as the main pin? And I'm going to carry on. We're just going to finish off and do there's one last bit when it comes to the training part of this. And no, I've done that. Oh, no, it's not. So this is part of the emotional connection bit, and it's honoring the words. So it's all well and good having the emotional connection, increasing the energy and expressing yourself in a way that is really engaging. But this is a specific technique, honoring the words. Now, you may have heard about onomatopoeic words that sound like they actually are, like whoosh, boom, meow. So that's onomatopoeic words. And it's a little bit similar to that. So there's two examples I want to give you. One is about having conviction. Now, if you say the word conviction, I could say I have a lot of conviction when I speak about speaking skills. Or I could say I have a lot of conviction when I speak about speaking skills. So whether you're saying the word conviction or you want to express conviction, you have to feel it. Especially on the word conviction, you've got to feel conviction. Feel the right emotion, the right energy for the content you're saying. And you might be thinking, well, how often do I do that, Steve? All the bloody time. Yes, it takes work and effort, but the results off the back of it are huge for your audience, for you, for your ability to build rapport, to close deals, all of that stuff. There's a lot of riches available. So you've got that conviction. If you talk about conviction, if I said to you, Michelle's performance there was absolutely shocking. Because I could go two ways with that. I could go, oh, shocking. Or I could go, it was shocking. But those are right. Both of those are right, because they're felt and they're honored and you have emotion with them. So you've got the honoring of the word scale. You can feel it a little bit, or you can feel it an absolute crap ton. It doesn't matter. As long as you're on that scale and as long as you feel the words, honor your words more. And the starting point for that is increasing your level of energy. Right, here we go. how to harness your visual impact to accelerate the clarity of your message. This is another really important one because most accountants have absolutely no bloody clue what they're doing visually, what their gestures are doing, what their facial expressions are doing. They just don't know. And if you're one of them, it's time to be aware right now. We're just going to focus on gestures. Okay, this simple question from the metric system: are my gestures supporting my message? And if you're not sure, you need to film yourself and watch it back and look at your gestures, look at the content that you're speaking and go, is that gesture supporting what I've just said there? Because a lot of times people do the same gesture over and over again, or they've got this thing that they do and they do it all the time. And for the audience or the person watching, all they're focused on is what they're doing with their gesture. So you lose connection, you lose rapport. They don't take on board the message. They're only going, how many times did they do that thing with their hand? I've got 34. Have you really? Oh, I've got 28. So it just takes the focus off, and there's no need for that. So I'm going to give you an example here right now. So if we look at this text, one of the key elements to my coaching is breaking down old habits and building from the ground up. Now, what I'm going to do is the words that are underlined, I'm going to have a specific gesture for each of those. Here we go. So one of the key elements to my coaching is breaking down the old habits and building from the ground up. Okay, that's clear, right? So I could go, one of the key elements of my coaching is breaking down old habits and building from the ground up. Oh, obviously that's extreme and ridiculous, but you see what I mean? It's very, very clear when you use gestures that support your message. So let me go again. One of the key elements of my coaching is breaking down the old habits and building from the ground up. Now, if you're a type of person that speaks way too quickly, you might know that already, or you might not do, then you're not going to have time to do gestures. You're not going to have time to honor the words. So it's really important that you slow down a bit so you can then implement these tools. Okay, I'm looking at the time right now, and let's do a key summary of what we have covered today. So number one is frame yourself right when it comes to videos and virtual calls. Really, really important. The next one, move from your ego to the magical place of the we-go. It takes nearly all of the pressure off of you because it's not about you. It's about your audience, your prospects, your clients, your customers. It's always about them. Next one, that 4-step process to spot your strengths and weaknesses, which you probably don't want to do. However, it's critical. Get a camera, film yourself, and then watch it back. The next one, feel what you say. Honor your words. We had such a beautiful example of the 150% exercise with Michelle there. Absolutely brilliant example. Honoring your words is an absolute game changer. I promise you. And it's all well and good listening to me, but the only way you're really going to understand it is by experiencing it and feeling it and doing it yourself. And then use gestures that support your message. Very, very important. You don't want to confuse people visually because you can have the emotional connection, you can have honor in the words, you can do all of that. But if your gestures and your visual impact is off, it's just going to confuse people. It's going to take the focus off your message and connection, and they're going to be going, what is going on? Because most people, 99.99% of people that you work with and you deal with will have been blessed with sight. So this is really, really important. Cool. Well, that brings me to the end of the specific training part. But before we go to the Q&A, I have an offer for you to work with me on your own speaking skills. And here it is. It's called the Power Hour Package. And it consists of the following: a 1-hour, one-to-one virtual coaching call with me via Zoom. You get me one-to-one. And it's a case of you filming a video of maximum 2 minutes in length, then you send that to me before the call. And on the call, for the first half hour, we break that down. Yeah. And I give you all the feedback of things that need to be improved. And then what's really cool is that I will coach you live on that call to redo that video. And then you go away and then you refilm that video. But here's the thing. Normally for that process, you get 7 days of support from me, and a person would film that video once and then I would give feedback. But for you, So Simon asked me to come up for an offer. With an offer for you, you get 21 days, 3 weeks of support from me, where you can redo that video, send it to me via WhatsApp. I'll give you feedback, but you can also send an unlimited amount of videos to me to get feedback, maximum in 2 minutes length. Now, that support and accountability and feedback is as important, if not more important, than the actual session itself, because that's the way you're going to implement the tools and take a massive leap in your skills. So that's another part of the Power Hour package. You also get lifetime access to the Speaking Revolution online course. It's my online course where it goes into much more detail of some of the stuff that I shared with you today. It's 2 hours, 23 minutes in length, 8 modules, all really easily digestible. So you get that as well. Easily valued at £500 all day long. Just the support after that 1 hour call is worth £500 with the implementation. But the deal is not £500. It's £200. It's £200 for you because it's the Accountant Mastermind community. Simon's a really good mate of mine. And I'm like, okay, what can I do that's going to be a crazy deal coming up to Christmas? So it's £200 for all of that. The Power Hour package, the 3 weeks of support from me, plus access to my Speaking Revolution online course. But here's the thing. There's only 20 available because, as you can imagine, that's me working with people one-to-one, literally 20 people available. So can you please, Mark, put the link for people to grab that offer? There we go. It's on that page. There's 20 available. So you've got 7 days to grab one of those. Now, if the 20 go within the next 48 hours, 24 hours, whenever it is, then they're gone. That's it. So please go and grab that. Now, if you want to work with me one-to-one on a longer program, I have capacity for my 90-day transformation program, one-to-one support for 90 days. This is for you. If you're doing videos already or you really want to up your video game, then this is definitely for you. I've only got 4 spots available for that. And it's normally £1,500. But for you, for 4 people, if you're ready to up your game, it's just £1,000. Now, both of those deals would need to be paid by the 7th of December. And that's it. So either of those, if you want in and you want support from me, I mean, they are insane deals. I'm actually looking at them right now thinking I should probably pull these, but it's a bit late now. I'm joking. These are cracking deals. Dip your toe in the water with the Power Hour. You want more long-term support? Let's jump on the one-to-one program. Yeah, happy days. Go to that link. And I think then, yeah, so you can message, if you want the one-to-one program, message me via steve@thespeakingrevolution.com. And yeah, the offer ends 7th of December, 8 p.m. or when all of those spots are gone for both of those offers. Cool. Right. Let's get into the Q&A. Let's open this up.
Brilliant, Steve. Thank you very much. So Mark has popped both of those contact forms, Steve's email address and the URL in the chat box. So my advice is to get on there straight away.
Also as well. Okay. So is this something I need to do? Great question. So if you pay for the Power Hour or the one-to-one program, the Power Hour one, you have to book by the 23rd of December, but you have to use it by the 15th of February next year. So no, you have to, because I know that, with the tax returns and all that kind of stuff, it's fun and games for accountants as well. So yeah, so that's either of those. If you wanted to start the one-to-one program in January, then fine, but they just need to be paid within the next 7 days. Cool. Also on that page, you get access to the slides. If you scroll down to the bottom, you get the slides from this exact training and also the metric system as well.
Brilliant. And Steve, Mark has also popped in the chat box the tech recommendations for filming with smartphones and whatnot, which answers quite a few of the questions that were already in the system. So is there anything you'd like to share about that, Steve?
No, just don't let the tech stuff stop you from filming a video. It's ridiculous how many people go, oh, we'll do a tech. What about the editing? No, screw that. Literally put the phone up, hit record, just start. You don't have to post it anywhere. You don't have to. But literally just get used to getting the camera on or on your computer, whatever, just hit record and just talk. Because that's the most important thing. Not what you're talking about. It doesn't matter. But just that process of getting out your own way and just hitting record. That's more important than any lighting, any camera, any tech, any editing. None of that matters. Just keep it simple.
Thank you. And if anybody's got any questions, if you pop them in the Q&A box or pop them in the chat box, I will gladly answer them. We've got some that's come in, which I'm going to go to now. But as I say, if anybody's got any that they want to ask specifically off the presentation today, then please pop them in the Q&A box or pop them in the chat box. First question, Steve, and they're similar questions, both. So one from Michelle and one from Nathan.
Yeah.
Michelle's asked, is it worth editing, or is editing worth it? And then Nathan's also asked, should you always use your first take?
Okay, is editing worth it? In my opinion, yes, at some point. If you haven't done videos, don't worry about editing. Just keep it simple. But further down the line, if you want to make them more engaging, yeah, for sure, it's worth it at some point. It just depends on where you are and kind of what skill level, if you're going to edit it or get someone else to do it. I mean, personally, I really enjoy editing. I'm getting into a lot more into editing myself, but you don't have to, no, at all. I mean, if you've got, for example, on the iPhone, you've got the Clips app, and actually you can film very short clips that you can put together, and it kind of looks edited in that way. So there are apps on the phone for that and Android that actually make it look edited, so you don't have to go through an editing program. So yeah, you can use that kind of stuff. The apps out nowadays are phenomenal for phones and smartphones. So yeah, if you're just at the start of your journey, don't worry about editing. Just focus on the delivery is actually more important than that, and make sure you're engaging. Cool. And what was the other one, Simon?
Well, it was the same thing. Should you always use your first take? So
no, absolutely not. More often, I'm looking at my clients and I'm looking at my stuff. I don't use my first take very, very rarely, because it takes me time sometimes to get warmed up and actually to find. Okay. Someone's just said, FYI, the link to the slides on Steve's page refers to the file being deleted. Okay, that's a little techie thing that I need to sort out. I'll do that as soon as I'm off the call. I will change that. No probs. My apologies. Okay, so no, you probably don't. And now, are there times where sometimes the first take and I nail it? Yeah, but more often than not, it takes time to warm up. There's other things that will come from doing multiple takes as well. Sometimes the third take is maybe too much, or is not right, and I go back to the second take. So definitely don't always take the first one, because more often than not, it won't be the right one.
Thank you. And then Messi, you've asked one about editing, which I think we've answered now. And then your second question was around also, would you use a phone to record or a special camera and microphone? What's your recommendation?
It depends what your budget is, but just to keep it simple, if you're starting off with video, literally right now, I'm actually using my phone as my webcam. This is an iPhone 12 Plus, and I'm using something called an Epoch Cam app, which allows me to use it as that. But use your phone, and I use that to record videos on my computer. And with regard to a mic, there's mics in the tech guide. There's this one that I plug into my computer, which I absolutely love, because obviously you can hear how crisp my voice is. And then also there's recommendations for a SmartLav Plus Rode mic to plug into smartphones as well. But if you can, make sure your sound is always good. That's actually more important than the quality of the picture, because if your sound is off, even if you've got a 4K beautiful picture, people won't listen. So yeah.
Thank you. Cool. Messi says thank you. Lena says, which software is best for editing? I know you've just sort of touched on that a little bit.
Yeah. So how proficient are you with creating videos and editing? That's what I'd like to know first before recommending that.
Okay. Should videos be subtitled? That's Michelle.
Yes.
Simple as that. Yeah.
Well, like, look, if you're putting videos on LinkedIn, let's say a video on LinkedIn or for social media, yes. And if it's on your website, I don't know, maybe yes, because there are so many people watching videos on websites, on social media, on anything nowadays, and without the sound on. And also for hearing impaired people and that kind of stuff as well. There's that part too. So I would more often than not say yes. If it's on a video on a website, have the option to turn the captions on and off. So for social media stuff, just have them on anyway as well, for sure. Because on social media, yeah, it's really important that you do that. Oh, Claire's just popped one in the chat as well.
Yeah, I'll just follow up. So Lena's asked, how do you add subtitles to videos? And Michelle has asked, what's the best software for adding subtitles to videos?
So I actually use, now it's more advanced, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and now they actually have the ability to do captions within the software, which is amazing. So I don't use any external software. For quick and easy software, you want to look at rev.com, where you can actually record your video. It's completely hands off. You send it off. I think it's like $1.50. What is it? $1.50 per minute, something like that. Is that what it is, Simon?
Yeah, well, it's not.
It's cheap. So, yeah, otter.com. That's also AI, right? So you've got otter.ai, you've got ClipScribe, but that's for kind of headers and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a number of things as well. And so I don't know if you've got any other recommendations, Simon.
I ClipScribe for me. I find it really useful. I know it doesn't get it perfect, but if you want something quick, easy, cheap to upload a video to, and for it to transcribe and then put the subtitles on the bottom, it's for me, being a little bit basic on stuff like that, I find that really really useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then Lena asked the question about the editing software. She's saying she's just starting out, so
yeah,
almost no knowledge.
Don't worry about editing software right now. Okay, just to let you know, I've updated the slides on that page, so you should be able to download the slides now. Just let me know in the chat box. Editing, iMovie, keep it simple. Download ClipScribe if you've got an iPhone. I wouldn't worry about editing just to start with. The most important thing, if you're just starting out, highly recommend you book a power hour session with me, and then just keep it simple. Just press record and speak into the lens. Focus on that first. Then you can get a bit flashy with editing after, but don't let that be a barrier to entry. You don't need it to start with. What's most important is you actually focus on how you deliver your message.
I think some of that, Steve, and I remember when I first started out, if you was recording, say, a 3-minute video, you would bet your bottom dollar that I would mess it up at about 2 minutes, 45 seconds. And then I'd have to do it all again.
That's a good point. So what you can then do is, even on your phone, there should be some, I'm not sure about Android, but you can just put clips together. And even on like QuickTime, you literally, once you, oh, you're welcome, Donna. I'm glad they've downloaded. Okay. You can just like literally plonk them together on your phone as well. But just focus on doing short videos to start with. Focus on just keeping it simple, clear and concise. Keep it to a maximum of 1 minute if you're doing videos for the first time, making it engaging for your audience. Just keep it simple. That's it.
Thank you. And then Claire's asked, where do you place the tabletop ring light?
Yeah, so my ring light is literally, it's just off center for me right now. But you ideally you want a light source, a natural light source ahead of you. And if you haven't got a natural light source, you need a ring light or some other lighting. Right now, I'm actually not at home. I would ordinarily be, but I had some issues with my internet. So I'm in a room that I'm not normally in Wells Town Hall. So I've got my light source here. As you can see, I'm slightly lit here. There's actually lighting above me where you can kind of see a little bit here. I wouldn't normally have that, but as long as you've got a light source that you're lit from the front, doesn't matter if it's natural or artificial, perfect. You want the ring light there, central. That's it. Nice and simple.
Thank you. And then Cheryl's asked, what's the best way to start and end the video? I always feel so cheesy and not sure what's best to say.
Yeah, that's a really great question. I would start smack bang in the middle of something to grab attention. You either ask a question, start in the middle of a story, start with a number or a statement that's going to maybe surprise people. But what you don't want to do at the start of the video is go, hello, my name's Stephen. And I'm blah, 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 blah. Because people expect that. No, don't do that. Just starting like £57,000. That's how much we save one company on their tax. So something that grabs attention, something that you think, actually, what's the main reason I'm doing the video? Can I actually like start with the result or whatever it is? But just don't do what everyone else is doing. Start in the middle of a story, start with a surprising fact, start with something that will grab attention as well. And end the video, it depends. Like, do you want them to take some kind of action? Because a lot of times you want them to kind of click on another video or put their email in to download a PDF or book in a call. So just focus on the action you want them to take. Make it simple, make it clear, make it actionable, and then share that.
Thank you. And then Steph's asked, how to not have a mind blank and how to handle it if you do, rather than having to re-record the whole thing.
Okay, so how to not have a mind blank is prepare in the right way. Know your content. Know it inside out. That's the best way to ensure you don't go blank. Now, as you go through a process of improving your speaking skills, are there going to be times where things get clunky because you're expressing yourself in a new way? Yes, 100%. But that's good if they're getting clunky, because it means things are changing. But if you have a mind blank, the good thing is about recorded videos, you can just stop it and do another take. So what I would say is focus on maybe shorter takes, so you don't do one long video. Keep it simple, maximum 3 minutes. Sometimes I like to do videos in one take and then edit. Personally, that's just my thing. And sometimes I have to go back to the beginning, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. But stop mind blank, know your content inside out. That's the best way to ensure you do that.
Thank you, Steve. And then the last question, we're coming up. We've got 4 minutes left. So if anybody's got any other questions, we won't pop them in the Q&A box or pop them in the chat box. I'll gladly ask them. But Caroline has shared one that is a really nice roundup question for me at the end of the interview. What piece of advice should be the takeaway if we wanted to implement anything today? So out of all of the fantastic content that you shared today, Steve, what's the one thing that somebody should do in order to elevate their video?
Is absolute no-brainer. Honor your words. Honor your words. You have to feel what you say. That is an absolute bloody game changer for engagement, for connection, for building rapport, for standing out, for being memorable. That is the gateway to all of the riches available to you when it comes to your speaking skills. The best piece of advice, honor your words.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Steve. Let me just check the boxes. No, we're all done. So that just leaves me to, ask Mark if you could just pop those links and whatnot back on the chat box, Mark, so they're at the bottom so everybody can see them. And we'll leave the webinar running for a little while if you want to cut and paste and all the rest of it when I've just finished saying goodbye to Steve. So that just leaves me to say goodbye and thank you, Steve. We've got lots of stuff coming in the chat box as well, saying brilliant session, and thank you, Steve. So thank you very much, Steve. Thank you to everybody that's come along, and for those that have asked the questions today, and for Michelle and Jill for both volunteering to do the live session. It's a very, very brave thing to do, and I remember I did it physically the first time that I did it in a room with other accountants, and I remember what that was very like myself. So thank you, Michelle, and that just leaves me to say thank you, Steve, for coming along. And I know if anybody's got any questions or anything, then you will gladly answer them, Steve.
Of course, email me, connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter. Absolutely.
Excellent. Cool. That just leaves me to say thank you very much, Steve, and to wave goodbye and say I will see you all next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching that video with Steve Trister. As always, please hit the like button. If you have any comments or questions, please post them below the video and we will gladly answer them for you. And please remember to subscribe to the channel so you get notified the next time we upload a video to inspire, challenge, and support you to be the best you want to be. On the screen now, you should see some more videos that we recommend you watch next in order to help you improve your accountancy practice.